Welcome to Final Score. 6 thrilling Premier League matches in action right now. And the world of sport may be keeping an eye across the Ryder Cup today. But as captain, I have to say my pairings have worked out beautifully here at the BBC this afternoon. Gary Pallister and Matt Holland have dovetailed nicely. Gary delivering the insight, Matt the wisdom and the killer putt. And you can hear how they got on and how they got to the top of the leaderboard in a moment. But first, let's bring you right up to speed with the Premier League. And with about 20 minutes to go in most matches, I'll tell you more about that in a moment, this is how it's going. It's Birmingham 0, Everton 1. A Roger Johnson own goal means the home side are in danger of their first St Andrews defeat for over a year. Stoke 1, Blackburn 0. Rovers trailing at the Britannia. Summer signing John Walters has grabbed his first Premier League goal. And it's Sunderland 0, Manchester United 0. This is the delayed kick-off, 20 minutes late on Wearside because a pipe burst above the Manchester United dressing room, the away dressing room, of course. Dimitar Berbatov has come off the bench for the visitors. And it's Tottenham 1, Aston Villa 1. Mark Albrighton has put Villa. I can tell you it's Spurs 2, a goal just now for Spurs. Van der Vaart's second has put them 2-1 up against Aston Villa. And we'll hear about that in a moment. West Brom 0, Bolton 1. The Baggies trailing thanks to a goal from informed striker Johan Elmander. West Ham 1, Fulham 1. Clint Dempsey got the better of Robert Green. Have you heard that before? Put the visitors in front. But Frederick Picquion has levelled for the Hammers. And the lunchtime kick-off, it was Wigan 2, Wolves 0. But as promised, let's go straight to White Hart Lane. David Garrido, tell us about that Van der Vaart goal.
Well, it's very, very similar to his first goal, in fact, Gabby. It was a cross to the far post. Again, Peter Crouch winning the header as he's done so many times. Little touch from Van der Vaart to take him away from the defender and then lashed it home with his right foot. His first goal, as I say, was similar. The only difference, really, was the fact that the cross was provided by Pavlyuchenko. Crouch with a header once more, and this time it was Van der Vaart with a header. That was the equaliser for Spurs. Villa taking the lead through Mark Albrighton. Superb work from Emil Heskey, chasing down a lost cause, outmuscling Sebastian Bassong and squaring it across goal for Albrighton to get his first senior goal. But Tottenham have turned this game around. It's Spurs 2, Villa 1.
£8 million. It's looking like a good bit of business.
Oh, absolute bargain. He's been brilliant today. He was brilliant midweek in the Champions League. It's been the game of the day without question. End-to-end chances for both sides. But Van der Vaart's the man that's made the difference.
So no hangover from the Champions League for Spurs. Is that what Manchester United are suffering from at the moment at the Stadium of Light? It was all Sunderland in the first half, according to Steve Sutton. Has the substitution made any difference to United?
Well, he very nearly did, Gabby, because Berbatov, within a few minutes of coming on at the start of the second half, did have the ball in the back of the Sunderland net, but he was several yards offside, no doubt about it. Wasn't even close. But in the first half, Sunderland enjoyed all the play. They should and could have been at least 2 up, probably 3. Steve Malbranck had a cast-iron chance, one-on-one with keeper Van der Sar. The keeper blocked it. Onua saw an effort cleared off the line, and Zenden saw a fabulous strike bounce off the post. United steadied the ship a little bit in this second half, but it's still 0-0.
Goal news from the Hawthorns. Steve Lee can tell us more.
Yes, the cheers will tell you everything. West Brom back in the game. A great cross from the player of the month, Peter Odemwingie. And there was James Morrison to head it in 1-1 at the Albion after Bolton looked like they were going to spoil Albion's big day. Almander got the goal for Bolton, but now James Morrison has headed in the equaliser. A great cross from Odemwingie, really delighting the West Brom fans. And there was Morrison to head it in. 1-1.
Thank you very much, Steve. Yeah, it really did look like Bolton were going to spoil what's been a great week for West Brom. Their best ever start to Premier League life. They've got Odemwingie as Player of the Month. They've got Roberto Di Matteo as Manager of the Month. And now they've got the goal. Odemwingie, of course, involved. Did you see it, Pally?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great ball in. And James Morrison, who's had his injury problems over the last season, so got on the end of it and directs his header down low into the bottom corner. So it's probably about a fair result. Bolton have been a threat with Davies and Almander and Petrov playing off them. But West Brom have been playing this good football. It's great to see a team that's hasn't got the funds playing attractive football in the Premiership.
And a young manager who's making a real go of it.
Absolutely. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, it's we've seen Sven-Göran Eriksson perhaps going to Leicester. It'd be great if an English manager got the opportunity there. OK, thanks for the moment, guys. Let's go to St Andrews, where, well, it's a Scottish manager who hasn't got a win so far this season. He'll be smiling. Ivan Gaskell can tell us which.
Yes, it's David Moyes who's smiling most at the moment, although it's a bit of a grimace. 10 to go here, it's still a little tight. Birmingham supporters stunned into the sort of silence usually reserved for the Conservative Party conference that gets underway. A free kick away in the city centre on Monday. Everton's 4,000 throng in full voice following Everton's first away goal in a deeply sluggish start to the season. They didn't actually score it though. Osman's cross was really caught between two, the keeper and the defender, and Roger Johnson it was who steered past his own goalkeeper Foster. 8 minutes into the second half. Birmingham unbeaten in 1 year and 6 days at St Andrews in league games, a record that's now in some serious jeopardy. 1-0 Everton, 10 to go.
Well, Fulham are turning into the Premier League's draw specialist, and it's all square at the moment at Upton Park. Alex Gordon-Martin can tell us the story.
Yes, thanks, Gabby. West Ham won, Fulham won, a game that waited half an hour to resemble anything like a passionate London derby. Clint Dempsey was the man to give Fulham the lead with an expertly controlled volley. Robert Green, this time blameless. And there'll be no repeat of the rather unhelpful tabloid headline of Yank 1, Plank 0. As West Ham drew level 5 minutes into the second half, Victor Obina on the right-hand side, his measured cross met by a leaping Frederick Piquion. West Ham have gone 3 up front to show their intent. Carlton Cole's just come on, but don't bet against draw specialists. Fulham hanging on, as you say. West Ham 1, Fulham 1.
Stoke Blackburn Rovers at the Britannia Stadium. It looks like one of those fixtures, doesn't it, with kind of memories of chimneys and flat caps and gritty football. Andrew James, is that what you've seen this afternoon?
A bit of that, Gabby. It's Stoke 1, Blackburn 0. Jonathan Walters with his first goal in the Premier League, at least since signing from Ipswich in the summer. Great goal from him after being put through by Everington, but it's been pretty predictable otherwise. Not only have we got Rory Delap with the towel and the long throw, but of course Blackburn are using the same tactic through Morton Gams Pedersen. Fair to say that the poor old ball has been in orbit longer than the crew of Apollo 11. It's Stoke 1, Blackburn 0.
Thank you very much. Our Leeds staging their own late comeback, not quite in the style of Preston North End at Elland Road, but Robert Snodgrass has got them an equaliser at Portman Road, and Robin Bailey can tell us all about it.
Yeah, he can. Those 2,000 Leeds fans here are jumping right now. And it came out of nothing, really. It was seemingly an innocuous ball down the left-hand side in the penalty area. Amazingly, the substitute, Sanchez Watt, got his long left leg to the ball, pulled it across, and there was Snodgrass at the far post, all on his own to put into the net. It was a bizarre goal, and Ipswich really have only themselves to blame. They should have scored twice. Macaulay's missed a sitter, and so has Jason Scotland. They should have gone 2-0 up. As it is, it's 1-1 here.
And Matt Holland is shaking his head, tutting loudly. Today's early kick-off in the Premier League was Wigan against Wolves at the DW Stadium. Alistair Mann saw it for us.
When Hugo Rodallega added a second, all Wolves wanted was the final whistle. A first home win for Wigan, a great relief to them.
A great win for them, and there'll be many people watching that who've seen Wolves who said, well, they've kind of had it coming, the red card. There've been many critics for the way Mick McCarthy's side have dug in a bit.
It seems to be a talking point week in, week out, and Mick's getting a bit fed up with it. But he can have no complaints about the sending off of Carl Henry today. It's a shocking tackle. If the lad's not got his leg in the air and he's planted on the ground, I think you're looking at a certain leg break. He's spun him 180 degrees.
You actually said he could deserve 2 red cards.
You could give him 2 red cards for it. There's no complaints about it. He had to go.
Jordi Gomez got his revenge, though, by scoring a wonderful free kick. You'll see that on Match of the Day tonight. It's a terrific goal in the top corner.
OK, thanks for the moment, guys. And you can, of course, see all those incidents, that match and everything from the Premier League today on Match of the Day tonight. And the Commonwealth Games starts tomorrow.
Delhi welcomes the Commonwealth Games. The opening ceremony starts Sunday at 2 on BBC One.
Accrington Stanley now 6-4 against Gillingham. Gillingham getting back into it, staging a Preston North End style revival, perhaps. Let's go to Oakwell, where there was, for about 10 minutes, James Mason, we hardly stopped talking to each other, incident after incident, goals and controversies. What else have you got to tell me about?
Now a sending off, Gabby. It's Barnsley 1, Cardiff 2. That's the easy bit. But Cardiff's Darcy Blake has just received his marching orders, a second bookable offence. So Cardiff are leading, but they're down to 10 10 men. It's a game full of incident which burst to life in the first half. Craig Bellamy scoring just before the break. But Barnsley came back well. Jason Shackle restoring the parities. It were 1-1. He got the final touch to a melee in the box, 6 yards out from goal. But within minutes, Cardiff were back in front. Seya Olifinjana restoring their advantage, striking home from an uncleared corner, which had resulted from a saved penalty by Barnsley's Luke Steele. Peter Whittingham at fault there. So Darcy Blake sent off, down to 10 men, Cardiff City, but they do lead 2-1.
And there's another sending off you can see there. Alex Bruce sent off in the 79th minute for Leeds. Robin Bailey, you can tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, Leeds have got to last the last 10 minutes of this game with only 10 men. Alex Bruce, of course, who played 127 games for Ipswich right here at Portman Road, is gone because of a foul on Andros Townsend, who's been the pick of the Ipswich players. Another marauding run down the left-hand side. Bruce took him out, second bookable offence. He's off. Just to say, Connor Wickham is on up front for Ipswich. And I didn't mention earlier that Leeds are down to their third-choice goalkeeper. Jason Brown, on loan from Blackburn, is on because their goalkeeper, Shane Higgs, has hobbled off. And, of course, Kasper Schmeichel is still injured. It's all happening here, I tell you, 1-1.
Thank you very much. Not often that you can actually play, when you're on loan from a side, that you're actually allowed to play against them anyway.
I didn't realise he was on loan.
Yeah.
Was that Alex Bruce we're still talking about?
Yes, it is. Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm
keeping you up.
watching that. Yeah, I mean, he's going back to his old stomping ground, isn't he? And
they know how to wind him up, is that what you're saying?
I'm guessing he's overreacted, yeah.
Well, he is, of course, Steve Bruce's son. Steve Bruce's side, Sunderland, are holding Manchester United at the moment at the Stadium of Light. Steve Sutton can tell us how that one's panning out.
Yes, they're doing more than holding them, Gabby. They're giving them a damn good game, to be honest, and they should be in the lead. They've had 3 good chances in the first half, and they've just had a good chance there. Steedmore Brandt with a 20-yard drive. It took a big deflection. It was wickedly dipping towards the net. It just went over. Sunderland got a corner which came to nothing, and Man United have brought Chiquito on. So the guy who scored right at the death in Valencia is on for United, and of course we all know 0-0 against Man United is not a happy place to be unless the final whistle's blown. 0-0 at the moment.
I can tell you it's Chesterfield 3 now, Crewe 4. It was 4-1 to Crewe, so Chesterfield staging a very late comeback there. And there's a penalty incident, I think, at the Riverside. Paul Addison can tell us more. We've had one already.
Well, there's all sorts going on here, Gabby, at the moment. The penalty is nowhere near being taken. Completely missed by everyone in the press box as we were following the play. Barry Robson's been sent off for Middlesbrough, and I can only assume it's for something like an elbow. And I think Aaron McAoina, the Pompey captain in the penalty area. Portsmouth have got a penalty. The referee, Neil Swarbrick, went across to his linesman. He's booking everybody in sight at the moment. Went across to his linesman, who obviously saw the incident. Mokoin is getting to his feet now. The Middlesbrough players surrounding the referee, absolutely raging at the referee. Swarbrick consulted with his linesman, showed Barry Robson the red card, and Portsmouth, in a second, I think, are going to take this penalty. Already had a penalty, of course, for Middlesbrough, which Barry Robson, who's since been sent off, took and converted in the first half. That was Borough's second, after Matthew Bates had given them the lead on the half hour with his first of the season. David Nugent got a header back for Portsmouth in the second half to make it 2-1. And now Liam Lawrence, the former Sunderland and Stoke City player, is about to take this penalty to get Portsmouth level at 2-2. And it's only what they deserve on the balance of play. Lawrence steps up and Liam Lawrence scores the equaliser, runs to the Pompey fans. Oh, Borough 2, Portsmouth 2. It's all happening at the Riverside.
And it's all happening at Portman Road as well, because it didn't take Ipswich long to capitalise on that sending off of Alex Bruce for Leeds. Robin Bailey.
No, that guy Jason Brown that we were talking about, Gabby, who is on loan from Blackburn, I'm afraid he's conceded, and it wasn't really his fault. It was just a very clever glancing header from Tommy Smith. Another kind of innocuous cross, really, but there he was to glance it beyond him. And the New Zealand defender, who will fly, I think, to Honduras for an international friendly shortly, who wasn't even down in the starting lineup. Darren O'Dea was. He got injured in the warm-up, and so Tommy Smith came in, and there he goes, gets his second goal of the season, and it's all happening here. This is now a thriller.
We were wondering whether Chesterfield were staging a late comeback. Crewe have decided no, they're going to snuff that out, and Clayton Donaldson there has got Crewe's 5th. It's now Chesterfield 3, Crewe 5. To White Hart Lane, where it's Tottenham 2, Aston Villa 1. David Garrido, are Tottenham looking good for the 3 points?
They are, and in fact, Rafael van der Vaart is close to a hat-trick. He's on fire. He's just put his foot through the ball from 30 yards out as Aaron Lennon and his Alan Hutton, I think it was, who had a shot and it was blocked there. As I was saying before, he put his foot through the ball from 30 yards out, Van der Vaart, whistled over the bar. Spurs players also clamouring for a red card for James Collins. He upended Aaron Lennon in full flight. Not clear whether he was the last man, but he was definitely second to the ball. Villa have chucked on Stephen Ireland and Barry Bannon in the attempt to find an equaliser. Tottenham 2, Aston Villa 1.
The league leaders, Neil Warnock's side, QPR, in his old stomping ground, Selhurst Park this afternoon, and there's a goal. Mark Bishop can tell us.
Yes, there is, Gabby. Crystal Palace 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Substitute Kieran Cadogan. Brilliant stuff, great work out on the right-hand side by Zara. Skipped into the penalty area, sent the ball skidding across the face of the penalty area, and there was substitute Cadogan to get the equaliser. Palace's first goal in over 5 hours, and this after QPR have been running the show after Tarat's 4th goal of the season. QPR in total command. Palace now back in this game, 1-1.
And the league leaders in League One have also been pegged back. Richard Askham can tell us more from Prenton Park.
Yes, hi, Gabby. Tranmere have equalised. Tranmere 1, Brighton 1. Tranmere have been knocking at the door and they've finally broken through. They nearly scored again through Dean Miggins as well. It's Scott Wotton who's got the equaliser for Tranmere, a corner, and he headed firmly past Casper Ankergren in the Brighton goal. It's 1-1.
Birmingham unbeaten at home in a year and 6 days, I think, Ivan Gaskell, we're up to now, aren't we? But it looks like that record might fall. Everton, without a win this season, without an away goal, are looking good at St Andrews.
I guess we should have predicted it, that unbeaten fortress-like record would come to an end against the side that hadn't scored and were bottom of the table. But it's not over yet. We're into the second of 3 added minutes. Oh, the ball bounces all the way through to Tim Howard. I've got to say that Everton had looked good for their 1-0 lead, but they're making hard work of this now. It's been all Birmingham in the last 10 minutes. You'd expect it to be. They really haven't, though, troubled Tim Howard in all of that time. It's still tight, but Everton hanging on at 1-0.
Mark Hughes has drawn 13 of his last 17 games as a manager, of course not just at Fulham, in the league that is, and this afternoon it's looking like that record's going to be extended at Upton Park. Alex Gordon-Martin, can you see a winner in this one?
It certainly does look like that record's going to be extended, Gabby, but what a chance we've just seen from Diamanti Camara. He's hammered it miles over the bar after being put clean through by Murphy. Sorry, I've just stumbled there because West Ham have gone into the attack. They've got 3 up front. Carlton Cole's causing all sorts of problems, and Victor Urbina just put a cross in from the left-hand side and Schwarzer punch clear. It's all go here, Gabby, at Upton Park. Here comes Mark Noble. He's got a clear shot at goal, but Schwarzer gets down to save. Still 0-0.
Thank you very much, Alex. To the Stadium of Light now. And Fabio Capello's got a few problems, hasn't he, up front for England if Wayne Rooney doesn't come through this injury and also perhaps a mentally fatigued period he's in. But Darren Bent's trying to prove that he could be the man.
Yes, he'd just come close as well, Gabby. It was a great run down the left side, an overlap, I think it was, by Phil Bardsley, and he crossed it in hard and low, and Bent got first to the ball. He just happened to sort of hook it wide. He's just caused all kinds of mayhem in the Man United box there with another cross. Only couldn't get his head on it. Sunderland in the ascendancy again, but it's still 0-0.
I guess and another goal at St Andrews, Ivan Gaskell.
Yes, log the time, 5-5 on Saturday, October the 2nd, the day that Everton's season finally got underway. Tim Cahill has scored the goal, a flying header from close range. Great credit, though, to Everton and Leighton Baines, I think it was in particular, for the way that they patiently kept the ball. Baines then broke clear, delivered a fine cross. Cahill, like he often does, got deep into the box and finished in front of an ecstatic 4,000 Everton fans. They've had to wait, but I think their season's just started.
Ivan, thank you. What's going on at Selhurst Park? Mark Bishop, is there a winner? Who's it to?
It's all happening here, Gabby. Crystal Palace 1, Queen's Park Rangers 2. A highly controversial goal has been awarded by Kevin Friend, the referee. You'll see it tonight on the Football League show. It's all confusion. It was a high lofted ball into the penalty area by Mackie. Speroni seemed to have been fouled by Helgeson, but the ball somehow bundled in over the line. We're just watching it back now on the TV monitor. Referee Friend says no foul on Speroni. QPR lead by 2-1, and they're going to equal their unbeaten league start to a season for the first time in 35 years.
Incredible run, QPR on top of the league in the Championship. Let's go to the Hawthorns. The final whistle has blown. Steve Lee, the spoils are shared.
Yes, they are. It's finished. West Brom 1, Bolton 1 after a lukewarm first half, which Albion largely dominated. We had high entertainment in the second. Bolton came strongly out of the traps, got a well-deserved goal through their excellent strike duo of Elmander and Davis. Davis made it, Elmander scored it, and Petrov could have made it 2-0. West Brom were back on their heels, but they rallied and got the draw, which I think their overall play just about deserved. Odemwingie with a brilliant cross, James Morrison with the header, and they could have won it 2 minutes later when Chris Brunt pulled off an unbelievable shot at goal, which was saved by Jussi Jääskeläinen diving to his left. That was an amazing save. 1-1 it finished, and after West Brom September, well, they'll take this one, 1-1.
Let's go to White Hart Lane. Full-time whistle has blown. Park.
Noble and Piquion wasted good chances, but what an opportunity to seal a first win for Fulham in 22 away games. Substitute Diamanti Camara fluffing his lines.
Well, that win for Everton, well, it lifts them out of the bottom three and drops Liverpool into it. A good journey back to Merseyside, I think.
They'll love that. I think they've got a derby coming up relatively soon, haven't they? Anyway, Everton 2-0 winners and very clear and comfortable winners here. I can't recall a single Birmingham shot on target, and that's in front of their own fans, don't forget. They went a year and 6 days unbeaten at St Andrews in the league, were close to setting a new club record that stood for 103 years of 19 unbeaten league games at home. It was never going to happen today. Everton much the better side. Johnson's own goal, and then Cahill sealed it with a flying header with seconds of added time to go. They deserved it. Birmingham will worry about this tonight. They've been beaten here at last, 2-0.
And the final whistle is blown at the Britannia Stadium. Andrew James was watching.
Stoke City 1, Blackburn 0, Gabby. There was considerable frustration in these parts when Tony Pulis was overlooked for September's Manager of the Month award. After all, Stoke had won more points than any other Premier League side last month. So no surprise then that Stoke answered their critics with a resilient rather than resounding display against one of the other sides loathed by the Premier League's elite. Jonathan Walter's goal early in the second half was his first in the Premier League, and the clean sheet at the other end was Stoke's first of the season. Blackburn were disappointing. It's 4 games now since they last scored against Stoke in the Premier League. Not one for the purist, but Stoke fully deserving of their 3 points. Stoke City 1, Blackburn Rovers 0.
Well, Leicester had just lost 3 matches on the bounce. They lost their manager in the week, but Mayor Banji, they're back to winning ways today at the Walker Stadium.
They are, and they've done it the hard way. They were holding on for the last 20 minutes. It was Frank Musa who calmed the nerves here at the Walker Stadium of driving effort past the goalkeeper, and the 3rd minute of time added on. It looked quite rosy for Leicester after 10 minutes when Martin Waghorn bent an excellent effort past Joe Murphy. Leicester doubled their lead after Lloyd Dyer's pace let him through on the left-hand side, and he put his shot far into the corner. Although Scunthorpe found their way back, Michael O'Connor's effort made it 2-1, but Frank Musa added a 3rd in stoppage time under the watching Sven-Goran Eriksson. Leicester looking upwards. It's Leicester 3, Scunthorpe 1 at the Walker Stadium.
Mayor, thank you. The final whistle is blown at Selhurst Park, and Mark Bishop, they may have been chanting Mrs Doubtfire to him, but he won't care. He's taken the spoils.
Neil Warnock doesn't care less, Gabby. Crystal Palace 1, Queen's Park Rangers 2. Neil Warnock has done it. He's taken his table-topping side to their best ever unbeaten league start to a season for 10 matches for the first time in 35 years. It was a controversial last-gasp winner from Heider Helgason, who appeared to foul the goalkeeper, the Palace goalkeeper, Julian Speroni, as he headed home the cross from Mackie, but referee Kevin Friend said nothing doing, the goal stood. Abdel Tarat, who was brilliant today, despite the efforts of 37-year-old Edgar Davids to keep him at bay, got the opener for QPR. Then the Palace substitute, Kieran Cadogan, stabbed home the equaliser, Palace's first goal in more than 5 hours. But the visitors, in typical Warnock fashion, weren't undone. They rolled up their sleeves, they tried even harder, and Helgason's winner has kept QPR's dream of a return to the top flight well and truly alive. Crystal Palace 1, Queen's Park Rangers 2.
To Portman Road now, final whistle has blown there. It's been an eventful afternoon for Robin Bailey and for the fans of both sides, of course.
Certainly has. Ipswich 2, Leeds 1, a classic in the second half. A pulsating game, and Leeds' woes continue after that 6-4 humiliation at home to Preston. Leeds victims of a classy opener from Jason Scotland, beautifully set up by their on-loan Spurs star Jake Livermore. Ipswich should have gone 2 or even 3 up. Scotland missed from 6 yards. Macaulay's close-range header should have gone in as well. The substitutions worked, though, for Leeds. And Sanchez-Watt's long left leg rescued a lost cause for Robert Snodgrass to score the equaliser. Alex Bruce then, ex of Ipswich of course, sent off for a second bookable offence. And in the closing stages, it was Tommy Smith, the hero, the New Zealand youngster, nodding the winner with 7 minutes to go. It was a terrific second half, certainly, and Ipswich's promotion drive goes on. 2-1.
So does Cardiff's. They're back to winning ways at Oakwell. James Mason.
They are, Gabby. Barnsley 1, Cardiff City 2, and this game had everything, but importantly for Cardiff City's promotion challenge, it ended with another 3 points away from home. Craig Bellamy opened the scoring coolly just before half-time, but Barnsley equalised not long into the second when centre-back Jason Shackle finished a scrappy piece of play. But the action never stopped, and within a minute, Cardiff won a penalty that Peter Whittingham hit straight at Barnsley keeper Luke Steele. But from the resultant corner, Seya Olifinjana struck the winner. A late sending off for Darcy Blake completed the drama in an action-packed 90 minutes, and it ended Barnsley 1, Cardiff City 2.
Let's go to Celtic Park. Ian Turner, the final whistle's gone there.
Yes, Celtic 3, Hamilton 1, and Celtic take over at the top of the SPL on goal difference as they match Rangers and make it 7 SPL wins out of 7. Mark McLaughlin silenced Celtic Park in the 3rd minute with a scrambled goal, and although Aki's created plenty of chances, Celtic deserved the win, which they duly secured with 2 goals from Sean Maloney and a third of the season for Gary Hooper. Celtic 3, Hamilton Academical 1.
Huddersfield in League One have gone down to Bristol Rovers, their first defeat in 10 matches at the Gal Farm. Let's get the full classified results now with Tim Gudgin.
And first, the Barclays Premier League. Birmingham City 0, Everton 2. Stoke City 1, Blackburn Rovers 0. Sunderland 0, Manchester United 0 is the latest score. They had a late kick-off. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Aston Villa 1. West Bromwich Albion 1, Bolton Wanderers 1. West Ham United 1, Fulham 1. And Wigan Athletic 2, Wolves 0. In the Empire Championship, Barnsley 1, Cardiff City 2. Bristol City 0, Norwich City 3. Crystal Palace 1, QPR 2. Doncaster Rovers 1, Nottingham Forest 1. Hull City 0, Coventry City 0. Ipswich Town 2, Leeds United 1. Leicester City 3, Scunthorpe United 1. Middlesbrough 2, Portsmouth 2. Millwall 1, Burnley 1. Preston North End 1, Reading 1. Sheffield United 0, Watford 1. And Swansea City 0, Derby County 0. The Empire League 1, Brentford 2, Charlton Athletic 1. Carlisle United 0, Peterborough United 1. Dagenham and Redbridge 2, Swindon Town 1. Exeter City 1, Rochdale 0. Huddersfield Town 0, Bristol Rovers 1. Milton Keynes Dons 1, Colchester United 1. Notts County 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Oldham Athletic 1, Leyton Orient 1. Plymouth Argyle 0, Hartlepool United 1. Southampton 2, AFC Bournemouth 0. Tranmere Rovers 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. And Walsall 0, Yeovil Town 1. League 2, Accrington Stanley 7, Gillingham 4. Aldershot Town 0, Cheltenham Town 2. Barnet 2, Hereford United 0. Bradford City 0, Morecambe 1. Burton Albion 2, Stockport County 1. Bury 1, Rotherham United 1. Chesterfield 5, Crewe Alexandra 5. Macclesfield Town 2, Northampton Town 0. Oxford United 2, Port Vale 1. Shrewsbury Town 1, Torquay United 1. Southend United 1, Lincoln City 0. And Stevenage 0, Wycombe Wanderers 2. In the Blue Square Bet Premier, AFC Wimbledon 1, Forest Green Rovers 1. Altrincham 2, Rushton and Diamonds 2. Barrow 0, Luton Town 1. Cambridge United 1, Bath 2. Crawley Town 2, Kidderminster 0. Darlington 0, Wrexham 1. Eastbourne Borough 2, York City 1. Fleetwood Town 1, Histon 1. Gateshead 1, Mansfield Town 1. Grimsby Town 2, Newport County 0. Kettering Town 2, Hayes and Yeading United 1. And Southport 2, Tamworth 1. The Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, Celtic 3, Hamilton Academical 1. Hearts 1, Rangers 2. Inverness Caledonian Thistle 2, Aberdeen 0. Kilmarnock 1, Dundee United 2. Motherwell 3, St Mirren 1. St Johnstone 2, Hibernian 0. The Ironbrew Scottish Division 1, Dundee 2, Greenock Morton 1. Falkirk 5, Cowdenbeath 1. Queen of the South 2, Dunfermline Athletic 0. Wraith Rovers 0, Stirling Albion 2. Ross County 0, Partick Thistle 2. In Scottish Div 2, Alloa Athletic 3, Forfar Athletic 2. Ayr United 3, Livingston 1. Brecon City 4, Peterhead 2. Dumbarton 1, Airdrie United 3. Stenhousemuir 1, East Fife 1. And Scottish Div 3, Albion Rovers 1, East Stirlingshire 0. Berwick Rangers 2, Annan Athletic 2. Clyde 1, Elgin City 1. Queen's Park 5, Arbroath 2. And Stranraer 1, Montrose 2. In the Welsh Premier, Aberystwyth Town 2, Bala Town 1. Bangor City 2 and the New Saints 1 is the latest score. Carmarthen Town 2, Prestatyn Town 1. Carling Premiership, Ballymena United 1, Dungannon Swifts 1. Cliftonville 4, Donegal Celtic 2. Crusaders 1, Glentoran 0. Linfield 4, Portadown 0. And Lisbon Distillery 2, Glenavon 2.
And, of course, the late kick-off at the Stadium of Light because of a burst water pipe in the away dressing room, and it's currently 0-0. Sunderland 0, Manchester United 0. Let's have a little look at the tables then, and the top of the Premier League. And if it all ends all square at the Stadium of Light, Manchester United will be 2 points adrift of top spot, and that gap would increase to 5 if Chelsea beat Arsenal tomorrow. Tottenham snatched 5th place from Aston Villa after victory at White Hart Lane, while Stoke are up to 7th thanks to their win against Blackburn. A point against Fulham is not enough to prevent West Ham from sinking to the foot of the table. Wolves replace Wigan in the bottom 3 after their defeat in today's early kick-off. And Everton's win at St Andrews means Liverpool drop into the relegation zone. Roy Hodgson's men play Blackpool tomorrow. And the Championship leaders QPR, tremendous start to the season. They continue with that. They remain 6 points clear after beating Crystal Palace 2-1, their 8th win of the season. Cardiff, QPR's nearest challengers, beat Barnsley. And Norwich, Watford and Ipswich all won to maintain their promotion challenges. At the bottom, Bristol City have slipped to the foot of the table following their 3-0 home defeat against Norwich. Crystal Palace dropped to 23rd, just below managerless Leicester, who are off the bottom after they beat Scunthorpe 3-1. And League One, leaders Brighton were held 1-1 at Tranmere. They're 2 points clear of Peterborough, who climbed to 2nd following victory at Carlisle. Bournemouth slip a place to 3rd. They lost 2-0 at Southampton. And at the bottom, Walsall prop up the rest after losing at home to Yeovil. Brentford off the bottom following victory over Charlton, but they remain in the relegation zone. And League Two, Port Vale's lead has been trimmed to 3 points after they lost 2-1 at Oxford. Second place, Chesterfield, involved in an incredible 5-5 draw at home to Crewe. At the bottom, Hereford manager Simon Davies celebrated his 40th birthday yesterday, but little to cheer about. His side now 3 points adrift after losing to Barnet. Bradford City drop into the bottom 2. And let's have a little look at the blue square. Crawley Town extend their lead to 3 points, beating Kidderminster Harriers. Second place, Wimbledon, held at home by Forest Green Rovers. Altrincham are 2 points adrift at the bottom, despite coming from behind to draw with Rushton and Diamonds. And a quick look at the SPL. Celtic replaced Rangers at the top of the SPL after they boost their goal difference with a 3-1 win against Hamilton. Waldsmith's side again left it late to beat Hearts, with Stephen Naismith netting the winner deep into injury time. Let's tell you that it's now currently 0-0 at the Stadium of Light. Injury time there. But let's get the headlines from the Premier League today. And it's Birmingham 0, Everton 2. Tim Cahill's 100th league goal wraps up victory for the Toffees, who climb out of the relegation zone. It was Stoke 1, Blackburn 0. John Walter's first Premier League goal gives the Potters maximum points. Wigan 1, Fulham 1. And West Brom 1, Bolton 1. James Morrison salvages a draw for the Baggies at the Hawthorns, cancelling out Johan Elmander's opener. And there's a bit of an ooh and a bit of an ah coming from my right-hand side. What was all that about then?
Man U just had a late chance. In fairness, they haven't really played very well, but since Berbatov came on, and Hernandez has since come on as well, they've looked a bigger threat, but really Sunderland have been the better team throughout.
Would 0-0 be a fair scoreline?
No, I think Matty's right. I think Sunderland have been the better team, especially in the first half. They dominated the play. They had 3 good chances to get in the lead. Man United didn't create one. You know, as we've said, they've been a bit better second half, but haven't really carried too much of a goal threat.
If it does stay like this, though, incredible. Manchester United haven't won away so far this season in the league.
But no, they'd be quite pleased with a clean sheet, though. They've conceded a lot of goals away from home, haven't they? It's Everton and Bolton and Fulham, so a clean sheet will please Sir Alex.
What has impressed you today in the Premier League?
Everton. They were desperate for points, and put in a good performance, got 2 goals as well. So David Moyes will sleep a lot better tonight. Game of the day was probably Tottenham Villa.
Yeah, Van der Vaart, I thought he was excellent again. He's been absolutely magnificent for Spurs since signing for them, and he was the difference between the two sides.
And great as well to come off the back of a Champions League week where, you know, a lot of effort goes into that, and know that you can win and win in style.
Important, particularly because they've got problems at the back as well, so they've done well to get the 3 points today, that's for sure.
OK, thanks for the moment, guys. And you can see all of that, of course, on Match of the Day tonight, BBC 1, 10:30. And you may as well like to be pointed in the direction of a documentary tomorrow night. Gary Lineker's been working hard, delving into what's wrong with English football. Can it be put right? Well, Cruyff, Mourinho, Klinsmann, they're all in there giving their 2 pennies worth. BBC 2 tomorrow night at 9:30. Stay with us, though. Plenty more from these boys and plenty more from the day's headline makers. We're crossing over onto the red button. We've enjoyed your company this afternoon, but if you can, stay with us and have a great weekend. From all of us, bye-bye.